podcast for a while knows there's always like that little setup
First.
period.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a fucking crew. Let me just go ahead and make sure.
Where the hell's Brennan been at, man?
Brennan, I just talked to him.
I texted him not too long ago.
He killed a deer today on private land.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, we're live.
Yeah, I texted him not too long ago when he was working on that movie set.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
shit.
When he was working on that movie set.
Yo, if anybody's tuned in yet, just hang with me for a second. Brennan usually knows how to do all this stuff. Okay. Don't need to share, copy, Fort Bragg Hunt Club, create post, okay. I can't add everyone on the computer for some reason. But let me go back so I can see if we got any chats. Open panel. How come there's three? There's three watching, but I don't see the chats, guys. So give me a second, because that's a pretty cool part of this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I just can't see it on my fucking computer. Live chat. Open panel. Won't give me the goddamn. It won't let me. All right, so live chat. Maybe I'll figure it out by the next one. But
I'm trying to pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, pull it up on your phone and just see. Maybe they can see it, but I won't. I can't see it on here. There must be a setting or something that never had this issue before.
Let's see.
I like to see who, because they usually tell me who's tuned in.
Here, I'll send one. See if it'll pop up.
Yeah, I don't get it. I see everything. I see the stream. I see that we're live right now, and it says live chat. Join the conversation, interact with the creator and those watching, but it doesn't give me an open panel. Can you see it? Are you on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I sent a message to see if it'd pop up, but
but it's showing on your phones. That means okay. All right. Well, maybe when we get to that point of it, we can look in there and see if there's any questions. But anyway, all right. Sorry. Welcome to this is the first podcast. Garret Citrano, guest. I think I met about 2-3 years ago.
3, yeah.
It was. Do me a favor. I'm sorry. Close that blind.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to the right. Yeah. So how did I meet you? I think I found a camera.
Yeah, back when they were legal.
Yeah, when they were legal, and just posed for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know whose camera it was, and you hit me back like, "This you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. I usually have nice things to say about people. Not that I'm just tired today, and you were late. I thought Brendan was on the podcast tonight, showing up, what do they call it, a buzzer beater? But so anyway, man, those of us that know you think very highly of you. Just want to put that out there. But those of us that don't know you, tell us who you are, where you from, man.
Yeah, man. Garret. I was born and raised in Alabama. Joined the Air Force
What part of Alabama?
North Alabama, about as north as you can get. Small town, Hazel Green. That's the name of it.
What's it close to?
Huntsville.
Huntsville.
Yep. So
definitely from Alabama, because you didn't say Huntsville. Huntsville.
I grew up there. Never really left till I joined the Air Force. Grew up hunting, fishing, just doing everything outdoors.
Who got you into hunting? Is it just like everybody? Did your dad hunt? Grandpa?
My grandpa was a big hunter. He was in the Army for a bit, and there's Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, and he used to hunt out there. I never really went with him, but he kind of passed it down to my dad a little bit. My dad was more of a fisherman than he was a hunter, so I didn't really go much with my dad, but he's kind of the person who took me in the beginning. Started out like dove hunting, stuff like that.
How did y'all hunt deer out there? Did you hunt? Was it public or private land? Or
Mostly private. When I started hunting, like just friends of friends that had land and stuff. There were a lot of big farm towns, so there's a lot of ag and stuff. So it wasn't really hunting. What I consider hunting. It was just sit in a tree stand, sit in a box blind, like over
some
cornfield
corn
or something.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got into it. It gave me the itch, and I loved hunting ever since I started. And then my best friend growing up, his name is also Garrett. So kind of funny, but we ran around together, and he was a year older, and so he turned 16. And when he turned 16, we were in the woods about every chance we got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'd keep the guns and bows in the back of the truck and head out.
Could you take him to school?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably not, but we did.
Yeah. So. No, I lived in Alabama. Real quick, is anybody saying they can't hear us?
No. No one's saying they can't hear us.
Okay, good. All right.
People are
no, I lived in you know where Eufaula, Alabama is, Lake Eufaula. I lived down there, I think 2 years. But this was, I don't know, 10 years ago. But hunting and fishing and hunting, that's pretty much all you can do around there.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I first got there, my ex-wife, my wife at the time was from there. She grew up there. So I get back from Africa and I'm like, I need to go to like Lowe's or Home Depot, to get some stuff for the house, some honeydews. And I was like, where's Lowe's? And she was like, we don't have a Lowe's. I said, okay, fine. Where's Home Depot? She was like, you got to go to Columbus, Georgia or to Dothan. It was like a fucking hour drive.
Yeah.
But, I say that because even the kids there brought guns to school. And there was like rifle racks and trucks in the school parking lot.
Yep.
So Northern Alabama, you're hunting now, private land. I think a lot of people, that's probably... I think that's what makes Bragg so unique, especially for a new hunter that starts hunting on Fort Bragg.
Oh yeah.
The deer act differently. Alabama now, in your part of Alabama, did they rut in January?
Yeah, they're late. Like I killed that buck I killed last year in Alabama. Killed him on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
He was chasing a doe when he came by me.
That was the thing about Eufaula too, is rut was all of January.
Yep.
And Eufaula's right on the not Columbus, right on the Georgia border. Yep. I forgot the name of the Georgia town that's right over there. But their deer rut in November, but like 1 mile over to the west, and we're rutting in January.
Yeah. But, it's they extended the season a few. It's been years ago now. It's like mid-February in Alabama, right? Like it opens a month later. I think bow season opens October 15th.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like February 20th.
I know.
Something like that.
I know there was one year that the season was supposed to be out the end of January, but they extended it for bow only. I was down there for that.
Okay.
Well, I was living there, but I spent most of my time in Nigeria working over there. But totally different experience. So coming from, first of all, we've got a similar background because we're both Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I know how my family got to Fayetteville because of the military. How does an Italian family end up in Huntsville, Alabama?
So
I'm just curious.
My dad's side of the family is Sicilian, and they...
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Italian. That's not the same thing, but it's close enough.
And so his great-grandfather moved over. They lived in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay, so they came up through the... Okay,
yep.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yep, they lived there for a while, and then moved out to Huntsville and kind of settled down. My cousins, the two Manellos, they all kind of own shops and stuff in Huntsville, like downtown Huntsville. It's like called historic downtown Huntsville now, and they had like houses like all on the same street, just a small little.
Did you grow up with any? Did they have any of the traditions? Did you grow up in an Italian tradition? It's totally different than similar, but I mean it is different.
Yeah,
because my mom's family's from Alabama, and my dad's family is from Brooklyn, New York City.
Gotcha.
Italian. So I kind of got both. I know the Southern traditions, but I also know the Italian traditions are a little bit different.
Yep. We didn't get together a whole lot, but every year on Christmas we have like a get together at the parish center, and it was like the whole.
Did you guys do the no meat on Christmas Eve or anything like that? Or
a few of them. I mean, I was raised Catholic, so we all went Catholic church and everything, and that's where most of my family, like I'd see them. I didn't really see them much, but we kind of stopped getting together once COVID hit. We didn't do it that year, and it just kind of fell out. Well, the year before that, like
Wait a minute. You weren't even in the military during COVID? How old are you?
it was, so it was. No, I was in the military.
Oh, okay.
I'm 27,
Okay.
but it
Younger.
was my first year in the military. I joined in 2020,
Gotcha.
April
Okay.
2020,
Yeah.
like right when everything kicked off. It was crazy time, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I was already an old man.
I had gone back. I had gone back home that Christmas, and that was like the first year we didn't get together because the summer before that, our like matriarch of the family passed away at like 101
Grandma?
years old.
Great grandma?
Great.
Yeah.
I think it's my like great aunt.
Wow, 104?
Yeah.
That's good genetics anyway.
Oh yeah. But we kind of fell off after that, and we just haven't been doing it anymore. But
Okay.
it's kind of a shame. That was like the only time I saw that side of the
Yeah,
family.
no, when I was a kid, I know we're getting off of hunting here, but when I was a kid, I have very vivid memories of Christmas Eve. Was like you would start eating dinner at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and as kids, you just want to play, but you're at the table, and then it was like one course, and then you would take a break and come back, and you were there until like midnight mass, and then we all had to go to church at midnight and all that. But that was the one time when the family was like all together, and of course, in my family, that meant there was at least one war.
Yep.
Somebody got thrown out, and my dad smacked his sister or something like that, or very loud. I remember that.
Yeah.
But then go to my mom's side of the family, and it's only eat one time. Everybody's real quiet. Get done eating, men go sit on the couch and fall asleep.
Yep.
Just, But all right. So you came here in 2020. Did you hunt straight off, or?
So
Garrett's in the Air Force, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against me.
Yeah. I was stationed in San Antonio originally. Then I was down in Florida for about a year, and then I got here in 2023.
Okay.
Was my first year. So the season we met was.
So wait a minute. You went out of, I don't know how the Air Force does it. Is it basic training or boot camp?
Basic training.
And then you have to go to AIT.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go in for the job? I don't know how much you can talk about what you do, but did you go into the Air Force for that job?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not like Special Forces where you go in and then you jump over to Special Forces.
Yep. Yeah, you can come in. It's like similar to the 18 X-ray
18 X-ray
now, where you can come in off the street and like give it a try or whatever. That's basically what I did, and then it's like 3 year. They've shortened it now, but it was a 3-year pipeline.
It's 3 years just to be ready to do your job. What's the enlistment? 6?
4. I came in on a 4.
So you could do all that time and spend all that money in training and only do 1 year tactical and then get out.
We had guys that like got hurt or had delays in the pipeline, and they got out before they ever went to like their first team. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it
happens.
They've shortened it down. It's about 1.5 years now.
So a lot of people don't know that the Air Force. Everybody thinks Air Force. We think easy, which I mean, Air Force chow halls and like they take care of their people, but they actually have a cool side. Like they have a special operations side now. I mean, a lot of people aren't familiar with that. So. When we first met you, I thought it was me, Brennan, and maybe Randy. Some other people were trying to figure out what you did.
I know Steven Randall was one of them. He's one of the first guys I met.
Yeah. I was like, what does he do? Like, I don't know. We're trying to figure out. I was like, I'm going to peg him for a freaking lieutenant going through the Q course. So at least I had you pegged for special operations. But so hunting Fort Bragg. All right, let's talk about Fort Bragg. Obviously, most of the people that hunt in Fort Bragg.
Brennan's in the chat.
What's up, B? If he's late one more time, he's going to take your tardy tag. Most people grow up outside of this area. Most people that are here. I mean, I know there's a contingent of us like Skipper and Holloway, and who else grew up here? I think that's it that I can think of off the top of my head. Where Fort Bragg is just what we know. All right. But the deer obviously act different. The terrain's a little different. The rules are different. No bait and all that. How was it? How did you find transitioning to not having corn piles? I mean, you could use cameras at first.
Yep. It was. I mean, it wasn't my first go at public land. So I grew up, started hunting on private land and stuff, just knocking on doors, asking people, and then one of my good buddies farmed like 18,000 acres worth of land, and so we'd basically bounce around to places he'd let us hunt.
So did you already have the hunting scrapes, finding rubs, kind of pinpointing them?
A little bit. Not so much when I was hunting private land, because we would just hunt over a cornfield or a big ag field or something and shoot whatever came out. But when I was in college, I didn't have the luxury of hunting private land, and so I started hunting WMAs that were around, and that's kind of where like I cut my teeth in the public land. Like mobile hunting is like the term everyone uses now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, I don't even know when it happened. I want to say, I guess 2017, 18 maybe. I learned off the page what a saddle was. And I think it was Justin Stone. Justin, you can correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching. He was like one of the first guys that I noticed was talking about it. I think he even created a page called Bragg Saddle Hunters. And I linked up with a guy named Johnny. I can't remember his last name, but I bought one and I got the sticks and I tried it out. I was like, oh, this is new. I want to try it. And I didn't like it. So I threw it away probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years later. I'm like, I'm going to go back to it. And when I went back to it, I was like, holy shit, there's like a whole industry. There was only like one company, Tethered, and Trophy Line is all I can remember back then. But it's totally reshaped hunting. And now it's kind of like, I know some of the old school guys hate it because it's like, where'd you kill that deer? How'd you kill that deer? Now we're scoring not just the deer itself, but the process of which, like you ran you chased it with dogs. I mean, fucking my 10-year-old with no experience could get a trained dog and chase a deer out of a thing,
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, saddle hunting's been around. Like people first started doing it like in the 70s. It's been around and people have done it for those reasons. And I mean, my biggest advantage of a saddle is getting places where I wouldn't have got with a climber. And it might not be like the area that I'm hunting, but sometimes you just got to be in that tree.
Tree. In a saddle, you can literally get, it may be a pain in the ass, and it's not quicker. Of course, if you got a nice straight tree with no limbs, and you don't got to walk too far, a summit climber, you're getting up there quicker. If that's your goal is, I guess, laziness. I don't know. You don't want to do too much work. Because I've climbed in some trees that, there's one tree out there on Fort Bragg that I love. Matter of fact, I shot at a doe on opening day and just missed her. I hit her, but I didn't stop her. And as soon as I went to like, okay, I'm going to release, as soon as I went like that, she started walking forward because she was feeding. So by the time the arrow got there, I think I hit her high up in the rear thigh.
Gotcha.
And she didn't even really act like she'd been hit. She kind of jumped around, looked, and then they walked off, her and her yearling. But the tree that I get in out there, it takes me about a good 15 minutes to get in it because I've got to go over several branches. But once I'm in that sucker, I'm like in a natural blind. Like I could be up there, doing anything. I've had the deer out there and kind of look up at me, but I'm so surrounded by cover that, as long as you're not waving at them, they just, what the fuck? But
that's my like biggest advantage, I think, of a saddle is doing that. Especially bow hunting. Like, you've got to move so much, like to get a shot, and the more odds you can stack in your face.
I don't like rifle hunting with a saddle. It's funny because I talk all that shit. It's fun, and I've pissed some people off. Obviously, I pissed a dude off. Did you see that one guy? Like, what the fuck, dude?
I thought he was joking.
I thought he was joking, like, because I literally said,
I saw the first view. I didn't see what it like developed.
Like I literally started that off with, this is like what happens. You say one thing and it's like, you fucking expert, this or that. And it's like, there's always, at the end of the day, you don't know shit, right? So I thought that guy was playing into that stereotype that I just listed. So I laughed. I go, there he is. But that motherfucker was serious. Like, I was like, okay, back and forth. Then I realized he was just being like a douchebag. So I kicked him off the page. I got the God button, bitch. Oh, where's the camera? But no, I don't tolerate that from anybody, talking shit like that. But I think he had mentioned that he got pissed off about my Pro tip for saddle hunters.
Okay.
You know, that whole thing. I was like, I post a picture the next week with a dead deer, and the picture that I posted before that, what am I doing? I'm sitting in a fucking Summit Climber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, some people get the joke, the humor, and some people just they can't. But rifle hunting out of a saddle, I've done it. I killed it. Matter of fact, I killed that deer out of the saddle with a rifle. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, I fucking made. That's the one I had to shoot like 85 times, man, because I just couldn't get stable.
I've never tried it. Anytime I take my rifle out, I take my climber.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I got a rail I can set it on, like, and I don't have to be 20 yards from the deer, so like, setting up in a tree isn't as important.
It's not as important. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it was the guy, Hayden.
Yeah.
He hunts rifle out of a saddle, and he was telling me how he does it. I guess it makes perfect sense. Your little gear hangers.
Mm-hmm.
He just put the rifle on that.
Oh yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You think about it, you don't have to hold the rifle up like, you don't have to move that around so much. You can always move it up and down. So I might give it another shot. But if I'm rifle hunting, I'm sitting there for a long time.
Yep.
Now, 2 weeks ago, week before, like when they first opened it back up after the shutdown, I went out at noon and I sat till dark in the saddle. And at 48 years old, man, I paid for that. My knees, my ankles, my ass bone hurt. Like it was, with the Summit, I can just kind of sit back and
I started doing the hybrid setup this year with a Lone Wolf 0.5.
How'd you like that? Yeah, I remember you bought it.
I love it.
It's pretty cool.
It's been a game changer. Like it's got a pad on it that flips. So like I'll just flip the seat up if I'm sitting in the saddle like normal and roll the pad down, and I can lean my knees against it. Yeah. And then if I'm tired of leaning, I'll just flip the seat down, turn around, and sit.
You know what? I did that with the Cold War, the fucking knockoff.
The XOP.
Yeah. Oh shit, there it is. Yeah, I can see nice. It popped up now finally at the chat. But I ended up taking my Razor platform and putting it on the back side, because if I'm sitting in it and I'm hunting this way and my back's to the tree, but then I want to stand up with the saddle, it's like over my shoulder. So I would just get on the other side of the tree and stand.
Gotcha.
But I ended up selling that. I liked it, but it was too bulky.
Yeah, the platform so the Lone Wolf 0.5, I have like the first gen Predator, tethered Predator platform.
Fucking 10 pounds.
It's
a boat anchor.
I can't remember the exact weight, but I do know the the 0.5 is about the same weight as that saddle platform.
Oh yeah, no, it was light. It was just bulky.
Yep.
Even the one I had, I think it was the exact knockoff of the Lone Wolf. It's like the same weight and everything. If I'm not bad wrong, but it was just much to carry.
Yeah, it's like the platform is. I mean, the platform on that stand, like it's enough where I can turn around completely, like stand up, shoot, and so I find myself a lot of time just hunting like I'm in a hang on.
Yeah,
and not saddle hunting.
Yeah, that was the thing with me too. That's all I did. So I was like, but I ended up selling it to a guy that wanted to do the same thing with it. So I just had a question pop up in my head, and I can't remember what it is now. But the one stick. You tried the one stick last year and didn't like it.
No, so the reason I didn't like it is kind of what we were just talking about. Is I found myself picking the trees that would be easier to one stick up, because I didn't have to go around limbs and disconnect and all that stuff. Whereas when I climb with 4 sticks, like,
you still gotta fucking go over limbs, don't you?
Yeah, but the way I have like my lineman's belt set up and everything, it's like so much quicker.
So you're climbing with the lineman's belt, so all you got to do is just okay, I got you. Because I know a lot of people that climb with the lineman's belt and the tether to the tree, so you have to take it off the tree anyway.
And that's probably the safer way to do it. I'm not saying the way I do it's the safest, but I feel comfortable enough on the sticks and everything. Like I've never just completely disconnected from the tree. Like if I need to, I'll tether in real quick and come undone. But
what I ended up doing with the one stick is I guess everybody has to do it. I don't even know if I invented it. But I have 2 tethers. I don't have a lineman's belt. So if I got to go over a branch, I just take out the tether.
Yep.
And move it. And I see people on online doing it with snap links, even though they're not rated for that type of load.
Yep.
And that would be a lot quicker instead of that one that I have. I have to unscrew.
I have the same thing.
I just don't know if I can be 20 feet up and relying on that and just waiting for it to snap. You know, maybe climb with it and then change it out. I don't know.
I also didn't like give it a good go because last season I got back from deployment like middle of the season, so I jumped in like
That's right.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
mid October or something like that is
Yeah.
when I first started hunting last season, and I was trying it and I didn't get any time to like practice really.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of part of the reason. And so I just went back to
See, for me, that's the best way for me to do it. If I go out to practice, it's like, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to practice tomorrow. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just take it out there. I have no choice. And I think it took me about 5 or 6 climbs to get it to where now I'm proficient with it.
Yeah.
You know, especially with all my Spider-Man retractable shits that I've geared up. Like I'm only fucking with one rope, and I can wind that up and throw it in the bag and everything. But
I also don't have like a one stick stick dedicated to one stick in here. I was just using what I had. So
and
like,
your platform.
Yeah, there was a lot of like stuff where I was just kind of going off the cuff. So like I'm not knocking it. I think it's a cool way to do it, especially if you're into fucking ropes and shit like that. But
it's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's any quicker. I think it's definitely quicker than 4 sticks. I feel like I could probably get up and down. If we're only talking about 18 to 20 feet set up and on the ground just as fast as a guy in a climber. If that was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once you switch to saddle hunting and you're into it, it's no longer it's about being quiet.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about how fast can I get up this tree and take a nap or pull out my snacks.
Yep.
So your mindset changes. At least mine did, because I used to be all about the quickness. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want to get from my fucking truck. I want to park as close as I can. I don't want to carry this damn summit. I want to go hunt. You know, when I come down, I don't want to be messing with nothing. That's why I leave my stand in the tree a lot.
Yep.
To this day, because I just don't feel like fucking with the damn cables and putting it on my back. It's dark. The boogeyman's out there. You know, I don't like the fucking dark woods. But all right, so let's. How do you? So obviously, there's newer people. The page is getting a little bigger.
Yep.
I've even from some seasoned guys. I won't call their names out, but people that I know have been hunting Fort Bragg for a while. For some reason, this year seems a little different. Maybe it was because of the shutdown. Maybe because you get so excited about deer hunting. But even myself, I have not been like, I got really into deer hunting 111 days before the season opened. I was like, I can't wait. And then something fucking happened, and I was like, I didn't even want to go. I only ended up going because Randy was giving me a fucking hard time.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, fine, I'll go. But it's not just me. But anyway, finding deer. How are you finding deer?
Yeah, so I've actually had a really good season so far. With the shutdown, one of my buddies I hunt with, he's on the page, Tim Metler. Mm-hmm. He's the one who has the dog this year. It's his first year, and he's like tracking for free and stuff.
Where was he the other night when we needed him?
He's there. He's probably doing another track. I was gonna say that you guys have been keeping them busy. So
okay.
I'll shout them out real quick.
Somebody, let me address that. I think, and Skipper said it before I could get it out of my mouth. There seems to be this notion that I've never seen so many fucking people. You have to use a dog, you know, like we suck on Fort Bragg. I want to know if you've ever hunted in a place where there was fucking 5,000 people all in one group, and at any given time there's 200 people hunting.
Yep.
If one guy needs a dog in the day, that's 1%. That's a very low ratio. So I think that, again, people's tendency is to troll.
Yeah, it's just a very unique like community. You know? It's not like we're in a hunting club where it's like 10 people on a lease.
Exactly.
Like it's so many people, and there's at any time like so many people hunting.
Like the hunting club that I belong to. I first started hunting in Alabama, and we had a board up about like this, and it had like a drawn on map, and you had a dog tag with your name on it, and you would go, I'm going to the Bradshaw patch, and you'd hang it there, so anybody else would come in would see, okay, don't go there.
Yep.
And of course there was corn and bait down there and shit. But I don't know, I counted one time, just like, okay, you know, you go down the open areas, starting with the bow areas, you're like, okay, 5 checked in, 579, it's like 250 fucking people hunting.
Yeah.
You know? And then it's like, God damn, somebody needs a dog again, like one person out of 250. So I think they forget that part of it.
Yeah, but I'll shout them out real quick.
Who's that?
Tim and Sydney
Say it
Metler.
again.
Tim Metler and
Tim
Sydney
Metler.
Metler.
Hey, Randy, write his name down.
Yeah, he got a dog last year, and they've been training it a bunch in the off season, and it's his first.
What's his
first
success
season.
rate?
He's had a tough go the past couple of weeks, but he's also just taken every track. Like he's not. They're not like delineating from like, all right, it's a good hit, like we're gonna recover this deer, like let's go out and track
just
it.
training the dog.
He's
at
just
this
getting
point.
the dog on.
Oh
on
yeah,
trails,
I'll call him.
so
Yeah, for sure.
He's taken a lot of trails because he's got some guys that have been like mentoring and that have been tracking for a while, and he'll like run it by them, and they'll be like, yeah, we don't think, like I personally wouldn't track it, but he'll still go out and give it a try.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing it for free too
this
year,
yeah.
so
oh yeah,
he's just trying to get the dog on blood.
Yeah, I know. Randy called me the other night, and he was like, all these people with dogs, what do they think? That we need a dog at lunchtime? We're going to need a dog at night, because everybody was like, oh, I can do it in the morning. They were probably busy. Yep. It was just like, we found, we don't know what it is because we can't use trail cameras. But based on all the sign, and I hunted that area of that deer for 3 days straight. One day I sat all day, and I've heard him grunt, and I've seen what mess he leaves behind.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big deer. But it was a ground check situation, because when he's rubbing on that tree, you can't really see. You can see antler, but you really, especially when the sun's going down and you're 25 yards off of it with a bow.
Yep.
So it was like, if he's rubbing that tree, it's probably him. Can't really tell, but I'm gonna shoot him anyway. And he just got a bad hit on him.
Yep.
Dog couldn't find him, and that dog's had a pretty good success rate. And based on the blood, I'm thinking that he probably hit him high in the rear, because he was quartered. His ass was kind of sticking out.
Okay.
So he probably hit him like through the backstrap. I hope.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of what Tim has tracked this year, is a lot of muscle hits. And
yeah.
I mean, you just, unless you get lucky and
I'm guilty of it. You got to freaking remember. You have to, especially when that deer. I don't know, from 20 feet when you're shooting out. Let's say you're going to take a shot at 35 to 40 yards. I'm not sure if aiming low at that point, because I've shot deer with my bow at 35, 40 yards, and I don't remember ever intentionally aiming low. But when I had a yard with trees in the back, I would, with the saddle, I would climb up and I would shoot at my 3D target that I had. And first one would always go right over the back of it, because I was aiming center mast.
Yep.
So I figured out, like, inside of 20 yards, I had to almost put my pin like I was trying to shoot under them, just to get it low on them. You know what I mean? Because if I aimed low, it would go center. And sometimes you don't want to go, so you want to go kind of like below the shoulder hawk, or whatever you call it. And I think in the heat of the moment, people just forget that shit.
Yeah. That's something I struggle with. I mean, I think I texted you. I missed a buck early this year.
Yeah.
Kind of to get back to the original question of how, like, I've been finding deer or whatnot.
Was that on Bragg, or was that on private?
It was on Bragg. Yeah.
So what are you looking for? Like, when you walk in, obviously topo, you're going to look for Bragg. We're looking for a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time. Now, early season, I'll still hunt draws and stuff, but this spot, I just happened upon it. I was hunting a draw last season, and I'd seen deer about 100, 150 yards behind me, like coming out from this spot, like not in the draw, like kind of in some, like, those. They'll just be like fields.
But what is the field made up of? Those small oaks, or just grass?
Just the like grass.
I don't know what to call it, but me and Randy when you see the fields of the tall grass, we just call that monkey grass.
Yeah.
And then we call it flats if it's like 6 foot tall scrub oaks. But I know that's not the real term for it. But those areas where it looks like from the tree, it looks like it's all flat.
Yeah.
But when you get on the ground, it's like 6 to 8 foot tall, like baby oak trees.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just talking about a field with tall grass.
Just like a cleared out area. There might be like some trees and like thick underbrush and stuff. I'd seen them coming out from there, so I figured they're bedding in there. And I'd kind of put in the back of my mind, like last season, this was like later in the season.
Oh.
And so I was like during the off season or whatever, I'm going to get in there and like scatter around. And I scattered around, and I found like a real like thick bottom down in there. And I saw a trail coming out of it. And so poked through the trail. It was pretty thick for about 50, 75 yards, and then it opened up, and there's like this island in there, like just a high spot.
Where was that at again?
It's over by Juniper Creek.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I look, the deer, it's almost like I believe when they're walking through, let's say it looks like an open field, but you get on it and it's like 4 to 6 foot shrubs, but it's kind of open. They can walk through it. They almost feel like they're invisible because they have cover. When they look out their left and right eye, they have cover there.
Yep.
You know, they don't look up.
Yep.
You know, I don't care. I used to be people that say, "Oh, Fort Bragg deer," before they come out, they look up and scan the trees. No, the fuck they don't.
No.
You understand deer vision? Probably because you're up there beating off, and the deer's like, "What the hell is that moving in a tree?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But knowing what you just said, it's still a mind fuck for me to hunt those areas. I don't know why. I mean, I have hunted them. I will hunt them with a rifle, but like bow hunting, I feel like I've got to be
that's
draw, scrape, trail, food. You know, I got to.
That's how I am too. And this spot, like the spot that I'm hunting, is not an open field. There's just like that area, like kind of in the general area. The spot I'm hunting is like I said, it was thick, like just thick bottoms. Like in a draw, and then I pushed through it, and there's just like this opening and the pines, and there's pines. But what there was like probably 8 to 10 persimmon trees in there, and it was just this 60-yard like island of open area.
Oh shit!
And so I marked it, and I went in there.
You know how people are going to be like, "All right, where is this motherfucker?"
You can't, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this spot, is you cannot see it on a map. Like even knowing that it's there, like I've gone back and looked at imagery, like went back when the leaves are off, like you can't tell this spot is there.
Okay. So have you, the first time I found a persimmon tree, I thought I struck gold. I thought, I'm about to kill so many deer. I ain't never had any luck on a persimmon tree. So maybe it's just a location.
My take, so in Alabama, finding persimmon trees, it was gold. It was like if you set up on there, you're going to see deer. They're going to come in and eat it. I think that obviously the time of year plays a part. Like a lot of people will hunt them too early when there's persimmons like on the tree, and they're like,
they want to eat them when they're on the ground. They don't eat them off the trees most of the time.
They've got to get like mushy and fall off the tree naturally.
No, I always see hella tracks. Like it's tore up, but they come out at night. You know, one of the things I think it was Mike Skipper said, I was cleaning that deer, and he was hanging out and talking about Ohio. You know, like how did he put it? Maybe I should wait till he's at. Well, if he comes on, he can explain it better because he is more articulate in that field. But he said that an Ohio deer just do what deer do. You know what I mean? It was kind of like what you see on TV. Like it's the rut. They don't have no places to hide like Fort Bragg has all. If a buck wanted to, he never really has to leave the draw.
I think there's a bunch that probably don't.
They don't. You don't never have to come out. They can come out to the outskirts. You know, when his hormones are telling him he's got to get laid, he might slip up. But I mean, if he's nailed down a pretty good in daylight hours, I'm talking about. If he's nailed down a little herd of does that are his, and he's beat everybody, he really don't have to travel that much. And there's plenty of food inside that draw for him. You know,
that's what I think the beauty of this spot I was talking about is that
you found his damn man cave.
Yeah, because this was September. Like this was the end of September, like early season. Like they were not pre-rut. They were not doing anything like that. Like he was just in his bed getting up.
Did you kill a deer in that spot I brought you to last year?
No,
so I haven't. You don't owe me shit then, do you?
I haven't been back in there since we hunted.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm convinced that's where a certain deer was killed, even though the guy. Remember, we found the blood. He was with me. If you're watching.
Yep.
All right. So, damn. So, are you just wearing that spot out, or do you?
So this was end of September. Like I think it was September 29th or something like that. The day after I found the spot, I went in there. The wind was right. I sat in there and I was like, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm not sure if I'm gonna see anything, but it looks like a good spot. There's persimmons like on the ground. It's surrounded by thick stuff. Sure enough, about 30 minutes before dark, a buck comes out on the far end of the opening that I'm sitting in. It's probably, like I said, like 80 yards long. and he's feeding on another group of persimmon trees over there, just kind of like messing around. And
Yeah.
I just hit like a quick like contact grunt, like nothing crazy because it was early season. And he heard it and looked over there, like didn't see anything. So he was like, just kind of going about his
Yeah.
business. But then he moved kind of back. There's like a little point that came out and blocked his vision. And so I hit it again, hung the grunt call up. And I mean, this has been probably 20 minutes had gone by. So it's getting dark. And then sure enough, I see him coming down the tree line, comes right around that point. He's sitting at like 40 yards or so, and he's feeding on the group of persimmon trees a little bit closer to me. And then he comes a little bit closer. Closest he got was 32 yards, and he starts heading back into the woods. And I stopped him in an opening I had and let one fly, and it went right over his back.
Oh shit! What about 30 yards? You think?
Yeah. I mean, it was getting dark. Like it was pretty dark. So.
How would your? Do you have a glow point on the end of your what do they call that? Trigicon or fucking what do they call iridium? It's your end of your pin glow.
I mean it's the like fiber optic. Like it just takes in light. I don't have like an actual light on it. I can still see my pin fine, but just like making out the outline of his body.
My problem is mine. I use a 1 pin. I don't have the one with the 3 pins that you have to like. Okay, 40 yards. You got to push it up, and you got 1 pin. And I think I was in a situation last year, early season, same thing. Nice buck too, man. It was actually a pretty big buck. He comes out finally, and I'm on the edge of like an opening where him and another buck are hanging out, and I'm inside this little cut that kind of surrounds it. And he's walking across it 30 yards, and I pull back, and I can see the deer, but when I close my left eye and look through the peep sight, that fucking bright green dot is killing my night vision, and I can't see around it. I can kind of see, like I can see his antler kind of moving, and I'm fuck, man. So I get my eyes back, I get my night vision back. I'm like, I can see him really good. I can see he's an 8-point deer. He's got good brow tines. And I went and did it, and I couldn't get a shot, and it was by that time it got too dark. But so that's the only deer you've seen in there. Have you gone back?
That is the only deer I've seen. So that was on a Sunday. It was a Sunday evening, and I went back in there Wednesday evening when it opened, and then I went on leave. I went back home for a couple weeks, and so I hadn't been back in there since then. I hadn't hunted in there.
How many inches you reckon he was if you had to?
I'm not good at scoring one from the tree. I couldn't.
He's bigger than that.
I'd say he's about that size.
Oh wow!
If not,
that's
probably a little smaller. I mean, it was a good.
Still, I was gonna say anywhere like in between that one and that one, that would be.
Yeah, it was smaller than that one. His G2s were about that size. I saw that. I mean, when he first came out, I got my binoculars out and looked at him, and I was like, oh shit.
So you carry binoculars?
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand them. I have them, but I can't, I don't know. I have a problem staying still, I guess, because when I'm looking, I get motion sick. You ever get motion sick looking through them damn things? I just got bad eyes, I guess. I got to carry around these fucking things now just to read my fucking phone.
Yeah, but it wasn't going to win the big buck competition by any means, but.
Well, I don't know. I think Randy said that Buddy Ard's deer was in second place. I haven't seen the one that's in first place.
So I thought Randy said Buddy wasn't even in the competition.
Oh, that's right. He's not. So that
means his is the biggest deer out of the guys that I would think were in the competition.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was a stud.
That was What was that? The fucking things looked like they were like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. So I guess it was. I don't know who's in first place right now. I guess Skipper's now in second place.
Yeah, Skipper.
Randy's in third place, and I'm in fourth place.
Gotcha.
In the big buck contest. But yeah, I don't know why, but that I was thinking about that today because Randy reminded me that Buddy wasn't in it. I just keep forgetting. Buddy doesn't normally kill big deer, and I'm not saying that as a diss or nothing, but maybe that's why he's not in the big buck contest. You know what I mean? Because if a 115 comes out, he's going to kill it.
Yeah.
and he's gonna love it. And fuck you if you don't like it.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
Especially
so a lot of people like this, like, well, I'm not going to get in the big buck contest because I'm not just targeting. But that's a prime example of why you should do it, because you never fucking know, man.
Yeah.
That fucking 5-pointer that you're gonna shoot that you're hoping comes back. When he comes back, it may be a fucking bigger deer. You know, you just never know, man. But I mean, I enter it every year, and I have high expectations, and I'll get there one day.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I am. I haven't killed a buck on Bragg yet. I mean, I bow hunt. The past 2 seasons, I think I've taken my rifle out 4 times on Bragg.
That's a tough commitment. That's
Yeah,
a tough commitment,
but
especially if you haven't
this
killed a
year-
lot of deer.
Yeah, this year, well, and that's where I'm kind of partial to it. Is like I said, growing up hunting private land, like I haven't killed a lot of big deer, but I've killed a lot of
deer.
And
Yeah,
just, like anything that walked out. Like when we were 16, 17 years old, like just laying in a field in 30-degree weather, like we were shooting the first thing that came out.
Yeah.
And we love deer meat, so we were eating deer meat.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it was for us. Plus, it's like you're with your buddy, you're having a good time. You shoot a deer, like go home, skin it. Like,
but I think that's the way. I mean, that's the way it was. I've never met an old timer. If they, I mean, that was my ex-father-in-law's first deer that he ever shot. So he mounted it, but he wasn't hunting for it. You know what I mean? They shot the first thing that came out, and when the good Lord sent you a fucking trophy, you hung it up on the wall and you bragged about it. I don't know when. I mean, I guess trophy hunting's been a thing for a long time, but it was kind of like an underground thing, maybe, because there was no internet. I don't know what kind of hunting nerd was ordering, VHS tapes in the 80s of Fred Bear hunting. Fred Bear killed scrubs too.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I don't know. There's a guy in Michigan. Can't remember his name. Public land hunter. He's been doing it for a while. But a lot of guys don't like it. There's a lot of guys get really upset because their brain takes them back to a time when they were 12 years old and they were hunting with their dad, and their dad was their hero. So of course, daddy does it. It's cool, and grandpa does it. Shooting over this or that, and shooting anything, and it didn't matter if it was a spike, if it was a trophy, and all the men maybe to a little kid was like, "Hey man, that's a good deer, son." Because that's what you're supposed to do with kids.
Yep.
But I guarantee when them kids passed out and dad was drinking whiskey and beer around the campfire, he was making fun of fucking so-and-so's, rabbit, or, I cannot imagine. I've been around many different groups of men in my whole life, from military to my family. I have a lot of dynamics in my family, northern, southern, foreign. When men get it's a natural thing. And I think I said it last year when I was talking to Skipper, once the fucking village is fed, I'm sure there was a caveman that came in with the biggest tusk, and he just had the biggest nuts that year. So
I'm not a guy who's like the way I view hunting and the way that I go about, like, if I'm going to shoot a deer or not, it doesn't matter to if someone else has a different opinion. Like, if you shoot something and it makes you happy, like, that's what it's all
so
about.
You're not worried at all if you shoot a freaking 5-point deer and you bring it to the skin shed. You're not.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm to a point where if I'm hunting, I'll shoot a doe. And this is bow hunting. Like, when I'm bow hunting, I'll shoot a doe if it comes in. Now, if it's a rut, if it's this time of year, like, probably gonna let the doe walk and see if a buck's coming in tow. But if it's a buck, if it's not something that I'm gonna mount, or a mature deer or something that needs to be put down, then I'm not gonna shoot it. Like, that's one thing I try to avoid, is killing small bucks. And I know it's public land, and I'm probably not gonna see that deer in 3-4 years.
No, but the more I cannot get behind. Of course, I'm not gonna fucking stand over a dude at the skinning shed at his little buck and say anything. Hey, congrats, you're stoked. But I can't get behind publicly or endorsing that, like, because that deer would have been a fucking stud in 3 years. You know what I mean? No one's starving. I know, can't eat the horns. Bitch, you're not. I don't care, inflation, whatever. You're not starving, and that fucking deer ain't worth all the money and time you done put into it. So don't go there. I don't care what you do. You know, I don't. If you're my friend, I'm going to break your balls.
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to get mad about it.
No,
God
no.
damn it, you should have let him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Nothing like that. But I just can't get behind endorsing the mentality that every deer is a trophy.
No, yeah, and I'm the same way. Like personally, my views are, if I don't think it's a trophy, like not even a trophy buck, but if I don't think it's a mature buck that is worth shooting, I'm not going to shoot it.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to get joy out of killing that deer, and I'm not going to take that away from anybody.
No.
Especially if it gets them.
You can look around here and see,
Yeah.
like I've killed that deer.
And you got to, man. Like if you're new to hunting, like especially bow hunting, like I'm guilty of it. Like I've let deer walk that would have been my biggest buck that I've shot with a bow.
Yeah.
And it's like that whole mentality of like, it's not like a mature deer. Like the first buck I killed with a bow is a little basket rack 6-point.
Mm-hmm.
And I've let deer bigger than that walk because I'm like, oh, there's better deer, like that's a young deer. And I'm not saying that's how you have to be, because honestly, the best thing you can do bow hunting is shoot as many deer as you can, because when that big one comes out, you want to have that practice under your belt, you know.
No, I think that I would never take a new hunter, guy who's new to it. I would say in the first 10 years, shoot everything that fucking walks. I can't get behind shooting a little buck because I want him to grow, because now I'm at the point where I only want to shoot a buck. And I only want to shoot a mature buck. Of course, I want to shoot the biggest buck. I want to be the king of fucking Fort Bragg. But if he's a 120, even 115, 120, to me, that's a mature buck.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's big bodied. You know, it's like the 10-pointer I killed. We haven't measured him. I've had people guess, 120. Randy thinks 115. We'll measure him at the big buck contest and see. 10-pointer, big body deer, good mass.
That's a good deer.
That's a mature deer. I'm not letting him walk.
No.
I'm not in a position to let a fucking 140 walk because I'm looking for a booner on Fort Bragg. You know what I mean? No, but when you see a fucking, he's a fucking baby deer.
Yeah. I mean, that deer Skipper killed. I would have shot that deer any day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think if you let that deer walk, like,
you're crazy.
Yeah. Unless you've got 70 of those on the wall. Like, nobody's letting that deer walk.
Exactly.
And especially with a bow, like, killing a mature buck with a bow is, I think, the coolest thing you can do. And like getting the opportunity to do that, like sure there might be some luck involved, but you've got to put so much time and so much like dedication into getting.
Well, there's luck involved in every hunt. I think every hunter gets the same amount of luck.
Yep.
So let's say that every hunt, I don't even know how to do the math on this, but I don't think that I know some people appear more lucky, but everybody has the same amount of luck with hunting. You don't know if he ain't on no time schedule. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know, just because the wind's blowing this way, something may, because everybody thinks that the deer are only going to move with the wind in their face, but they tend to quarter the wind. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll move with the wind to their butt. It just all depends. And he doesn't have a schedule.
Yep.
So a lot of it is luck that he comes your way. Now your skill and your time and everything you've learned have put you in the right position in case he does come through there.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and that little bit so it's probably more luck than anything, but that little bit that's on you, that takes a long fucking time. Or it takes a lot of studying, because you do have guys like Steve Randall. Steve hadn't been hunting that long, but Steve's a fucking damn good hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never been around him during the process of picking a spot. But he seems to have a lot of knowledge on terrain.
Yeah.
So that to me says, okay, if you didn't grow up hunting, which I don't think he did. I think we had him on the podcast.
Yeah, I think he said he
just started hunting.
Yeah.
So that means he took the deep dive, and he's an intelligent dude. I mean, he's a fucking doctor, dentist, a doctor dentist. So he studied it, you know what I mean? So either way, he put time in, whether, some people like me are dumb. I can read all the shit and I can understand it, but I can't see it play out until my hands actually do it.
Yeah.
Like working on a motorcycle. I can fucking read about how the motor works and what I need to do to change the fucking starter out or whatever. But until I actually do it and fuck it up a few times and get it right, once I do it one time, then I'll have it. So deer hunting, it takes a long time. So that little bit of extra outside of luck, I said all of this to make that point. That little bit right there is what counts.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not going to get that little bit if you're fucking just acting like you're in the 1800s living on the prairie and got to feed your family and just got to kill everything that comes out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, With a rifle, I think there's a little bit more. Like I don't know. I say that because I think bow hunting is just awesome, and
Yeah.
like I'm a big bow hunter
Yeah.
because it's so challenging to like.
So when you see a guy kill a deer, and you find out that he killed it with a rifle, you're like, okay, good deer. But if the guy next to him has a deer that might be a few inches smaller than the one with the rifle, you still think that the other deer, even though it's smaller, is cooler because he killed it with a bow?
Oh yeah,
me too.
yeah. I mean,
me too.
and if you want to argue that, like sure, like
Yeah.
you got your opinion, but I don't think there's a way to argue that killing a mature buck with a bow is easier than killing a mature buck with a rifle. Like to me, there's
No, it's a lot
argument
harder.
there.
Yeah.
Because especially on Bragg, like I'm sure we get there at some point, and like your post on Bragg, like how to hunt Bragg the other day, like if you do that with a rifle, your chances of killing a like good buck on Bragg
are pretty good.
Are pretty good.
Yeah.
Because that deer's got to come within 150 yards, and anybody who just, even if you aren't the best shot with a rifle, like if you got a rifle,
you got a decent piece of glass on top of that.
It's sighted in, it's zeroed, like
yeah,
you should shoot that deer.
Right.
Like you should have no problem killing that deer.
Yeah.
Now with a bow, like I can't tell you how many
changes the dynamic. But you can apply the same metric, but you're where you need to sit. You've got to be on that trail. You got to be on the edge or where he's coming out.
Yep.
And then like you still got to play that wind though. I really do believe in that. I know people. Steve Randall had a good point. He said if the wind's not blowing 7 miles an hour or more, then the wind's not really a factor. But the breeze still pushes the thermal. So having that milkweed out there.
Yep.
Now some days I'll throw the milkweed out, and go straight to the ground. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or it swirls.
Like
and then it fucking goes up. But I really do believe in the wind because that deer. So that morning, Saturday morning, or was it Sunday morning? I can't remember. I had a spike buck, maybe a fork buck. And he just was, I don't know where he was going. He didn't stop. He wasn't sniffing the ground, but he wasn't walking either. He was kind of like trotting. And then there was like 4 or 3 does to my left in the draw. Like they never even came out of the draw. They fed in the draw. And then there was a lone doe that came out. When I saw the lone doe, I took a video of her, and she was smelling that shines. She smelled me. She got downwind of me, and her fucking nose went up, and she stopped, and she looked right. I mean, I didn't move. She looked right in my direction. And was throwing her head up like that because she could smell me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because she was uphill, I'm downhill. So obviously we're almost level with each other. And the wind was blowing like at a southwest direction. I was facing northwest. So she did smell me. I don't know why she didn't. I mean, I had shines. That's what she was smelling. But playing the wind, I do believe in. But you're right. In that scenario with a rifle, if you apply that, you're probably going to see deer, I don't know, half the time.
Yep. I mean, the other evening, that video I posted of those 2 little deer, like they were 20 yards from me, but I'd never been in that spot before. I looked at it on a map, saw it was open for a rifle. I was like, I'm going to take my rifle. I'm going to set up. Walked in there, like got to the edge of the draw, like looked around for sign. I didn't look around long because I jumped to a little fork horn, like as I was walking in. And he took off, and I could have shot him if I wanted to. He stopped about 80 yards away, but I was like, all right, there's deer in here. So I backed
out. If there's a little one during the rut, you know, it could be 12 hours, it could be 30 minutes. There's a big one behind them because they don't live together during the rut, but they still kind of band together. And the fucking mature guy, he likes to be left alone, the broody one, but they still kind of follow each other.
And so I just backed out from where I jumped that deer about 80, 100 yards, set up, looking over that draw, downwind side of it. Sure enough, like 30 minutes before dark, those deer came out and fed. Now, I was hoping it'd be a hot doe, and there'd be a buck following her, but it didn't happen. But if you want to see deer on Bragg, that's what you do. Especially if you're a new hunter and you're rifle hunting, like, and you just want to kill something because you're new to it, like,
hunt the sign first. Like, don't hunt them. Like, I know there's some places that you go to and you're like, oh, this is like deer paradise. And the deer are not there because they're smart and they know that you're going to think. That's another thing. People are like, oh, they know they're safe. No, they don't. Deer are fucking stupid. Deer literally have swords coming out of their fucking head. that could maul you to death. But if you attack one and he wants to fight, he'll use his fucking hooves.
Yep.
You know, they don't fucking bow up on even coyotes. They either run or they use their hooves. So they're not that smart.
Yeah.
So they don't know that they're safe or they're not safe, but sometimes they're just not there for whatever reason. So if you find that spot, like Jonathan used a word, deery, find a spot that looks deery, but then look for the sign. When you find the sign, usually on Fort Bragg, it's a draw.
Yep.
And what is a draw? I mean, it's a bottom area. So it may not even be a steep hill. It's just, it gradually goes uphill. That's why that draw is there in the first place. If you follow that little fucking scenario, once you find the scrape, you don't find scrapes. If you look and look and look and there is you see fucking tracks, but there's no scrapes, go to the next draw.
Yep.
Go to the other side of it. Find it.
Yep.
And then, you may find all the action on the west side of the draw and want to go hunt it. But when that fucking wind is coming out of the west, maybe during the rut's not the best time to hunt that spot.
Yep.
Early season, yes, because does are bedded down. And they will, and if you want to kill a doe, does are typically going to walk into the wind, and the bucks are the ones that are going to follow them. But when the buck is looking for a hot doe, he's going to follow that.
He's going to cruise. Like you're talking about, the draw drops off. He'll be 2/3 up the way that draw and just cruising. Like he's smelling everything that's down in that draw. He doesn't care if he sees anything. As soon as he smells that hot doe,
as soon as he smells something, he's coming in. And while he's cruising, he could be over a fire break, 300 yards away, and he's cruising, and maybe his cruising is taking him that way. That's where like a blind grunt can get his attention, because as he's cruising, he's also looking to fight.
Yep.
But just a short contact grunt.
Yep. Rattling. I've actually had a lot of success on Bragg.
Really?
Rattling. Yeah.
I do it. The times that I think it works for me, I can't hang it on the rattle, because I'll rattle and I'll do it, and then like 30 minutes later there'll be a buck showed up. I've never had one bust out of the woods like Boda, like, oh yeah, let's fight, motherfucker. I've never seen that.
I saw that in the area I met you in.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
The night where I had two of the biggest deer I've seen, like while I'm hunting.
And they just wouldn't get in shot range.
No, they were in range. It didn't work out. I rattled, and about 5-10 minutes later, this 8-point came in, like biggest 8-point I've seen. And he came in from, I guess, my left side, walked in. He was coming in. I was in a saddle. He was on my weak side. And
Are you left-handed?
Mm-mm.
So your left side should be your good side, right?
Okay. I was facing where he was coming from.
Okay.
So it was my right side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the fucking pain in the dick in the saddle. I don't care.
I had time, and I turned around, like seat belted in or whatever, and had my bow, and he came right in 20 yards, and I was full draw. And he starts making a scrape right there, like he's pissed. The hair on the back, his back is standing up, like he's looking to fight whatever was over there. Yeah. And it was one of the coolest things. And I'm full draw on this thing at 20 yards, watching him make a scrape. And there's a tree limb that had broken down and was hanging.
Yeah,
it was right there in front of everything I needed to shoot at.
I would have went a little fucking. That happened to me one time, man. Same scenario, except it wasn't on my weak side; it was on my good side. Actually, I think I might have been I was in a climber, so it didn't matter. But I'm standing up, and this was a fucking nice, I don't know, if I had to guess, just to give perspective of the story, it's probably about a 125, 130 inch 8-pointer, and he had like a kicker. And he comes in, and I'm watching these turkeys, and I'm posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking turkeys don't like helicopters either. But it wasn't the fucking turkeys that weren't running from the helicopter. They're probably running from the deer, or they saw me. But I put my phone down, I look over, and he's right on the scrape that I'm hunting. And I'm set up, so I'm on he's on my left. And so I stand up slow and grab my bow, and he fucking stops and freezes. And now I'm frozen. And I'm fucking, seemed like forever. It's probably 30 seconds. He's like, all right, nothing's there. He moves right to the fucking rub on the tree and starts sniffing it. And I'm like, perfect, I got him. But there's a fucking branch. And I was like, I kept going over it, but I'm like, that's too high. If I'm going too low, that's going to be too low. It was a fucking nice thick branch. I could see him. And then I'm like, you know what? the next scrape he's going to go to is right in front of him. So why rush this? I put the bow down, and he didn't go that way. He went up the hill,
Yep.
and that still burns me up to this day.
I think about this night like probably every night when I
shoot him in the guts. We'll track that bitch. We'll get a dog.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I mean, I was full draw on this deer for no shit. It felt like a lifetime, but it was probably 3 minutes just because he was 20 yards, like, and there was cover between me and him, and that limb was like it was right in front of him. It wasn't blocking like my shot, but it was just blocking him.
Yeah.
And he was making that scrape, like getting pissed, like started rubbing the tree. And then he stopped and he looked, and I thought he was looking at me. And so I was just like still full draw, like frozen. And then he kind of like, it was crazy. Like he went from like being pissed off, like hair on his back, to just like, all right, I'm going to like keep moving. And I was like, damn, like that was my chance. And I let the bow down. I was facing this way. And when I turned around like this, biggest deer I've seen when I was hunting, like by far, was 30 yards from me, behind me. And so
the whole time you're looking at this one?
Yeah, because he saw that deer, and I like the only way I can explain is he saw that deer and he's like, I'm not gonna fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm no kidding, like he went up the hill, like just like what you were saying. And I draw back on this deer, it's 30 yards, he's directly downwind of me. Like I don't know to this day how he didn't smell me or why he didn't care. I don't know if he was just pissed off that deer was in
Maybe he was focused, again, they're not smart.
And
you know what I mean?
He comes in 25 yards, starts making a scrape behind.
Why didn't you shoot him?
He's behind a tree. And it was the craziest hunt that I've had where I didn't.
What part of his body was sticking out from behind the tree?
His butt.
I would have shot his ass right. I would have shot. You'd catch that damn artery.
He turns after that deer walked off. He turned and started going back into the draw. And when he did, I like mapped at him to stop, and he took off. He didn't get a single pause. Like
he probably sent something.
Yep.
He just didn't know what it was. So when you went, he was like,
he didn't even hesitate. He took off. And that night, that evening, that lives in my head all the time. Yeah. Because both of those deer.
That's good though. The fact that it eats away at you. Because if you were a guy that was just like, well, it's just what happens and it doesn't bother you, then you're a fucking loser. You're okay with losing.
Yeah.
If you want to win, that's going to bother you because you had everything, all the work, all the time, all the prep, all the angst, and you get down to it. If you're not disappointed in that, then you're just a fucking born loser.
Yeah.
It's like that's like going to the Super Bowl and almost winning as like a rookie and then saying, well,
at least we made it.
At least I made it to the Super Bowl and I had fun. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the same thing this year, like missing.
I just say it. You know what I mean? I think everybody thinks it, and I like to rub it in. Like, I ain't got to be, I guess it's punching down a little bit, but I think it's more like, come on, man. Don't be a loser. But
Same thing this year, like missing that buck. I mean, especially early season. I know, we probably talked about it, but like killing a buck early season.
Yes.
That.
Like Randy in September, mature buck. Yeah. Fuck him.
Like that is the pinnacle of like, I know what I'm doing. Like I'm on this deer.
Because he's not distracted. During the rut I'm not going to say it's never easy to kill a deer, especially with a bow. It's never easy to kill a mature bow. Even when you're just a lucky bastard and you're just in the right place at the right time in that moment in the eternity of the universe, and he gets out there getting the shot off with a bow through all the nerves and all that shit, it's still hard.
Yeah.
But during the fucking rut, I would say anybody can happen upon a buck because they slip up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. They're moving more.
They're not as cautious.
Yeah.
Because they got to get laid. But early season mature buck means you had your luck, which everybody has, but the little 10% that's not luck, you capitalized like 99% of that, or 100% of it.
Yeah, you did everything right.
You did everything right. Yeah. And so
that's where I was beating myself up. Is like I did everything. I got a shot and I missed. But
I don't have a mature early season buck.
That happens, like
mature buck
bow hunting, and like if you hadn't missed a deer with a bow, you hadn't been bow hunting long enough. It sucks, but it happens. But I'm glad I clean missed and didn't like wound them or anything like that, and never found them. Like I'd rather have a clean miss than like hit them and not find them.
Yeah, I haven't had a deer. I haven't. I mean, I've hit deer with. No, I did. I have. I had a deer that I really wanted to find, but I shot it. That was that fucking 6.5 from last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bow, but I mean, I
just bounced off of them.
No, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I think that when I shot him the first time, I think that it just got him really high.
It's a whole like spinal shock.
Yeah,
thing.
but it didn't take his spine out. It was
Yeah.
low enough.
They do that. Like,
Tim, so it paralyzed him.
Tim tracked for a guy the other night that had the same thing. Like shot him, deer dropped and was laying there for a minute, got up, took off running, and they never found it. And that like rifle,
while he was laying down though, when he dropped, he like moaned, but deer moaned like like fuck. And then he was kind of moving, so I shot him again. And when I shot him again, based on where he was at, I don't think it deflected. I just think I shot over him and just kind of skimmed him because he did tense up a little bit and then flop back down. So I'm like, okay, he's dead. But matter of fact, when I shot that buck Saturday, I mean, I dropped him right in place, and he hit the ground. He didn't move, but then his ear kind of moved. I almost shot him again. I was like, no, because there was another dude hunting close by, and the reason why I didn't put 9 bullets in that motherfucking deer last year is because Randy was hunting nearby. He could hear my shots, and I'm worried about that. I'm not that I don't want to, that's just giving him ammo to talk shit.
Yeah,
I don't want that. I thrive on that. Like I don't want to. I'm not bringing no 5-pointer up to the fucking shed. I have before. I took my beating over it, but I'm done taking my beatings over that. If I bring a deer to the fucking shed, it's gonna be a mature deer.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a stud, but a mature deer. But I've never shot a mature buck with a bow that I can think of. There's one in my wall up that I put on that backpack mount.
Mm-hmm.
He was 3.5 years old. I don't know if you want to call that mature. That's the only like nice buck that I've ever killed with a bow. So the ones that I've missed and couldn't find, I was mad about it, but I wasn't mad about like last year with that. I would have had an early season, second week of bow hunting season, and I would have had a fucking 125, 130 mature buck.
Yeah.
Like you just said, that's like fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Style points matter. So I see a fucking nice deer, I'm like, all right, what'd you kill it with? Bow. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Saddle or climber? Saddle. Okay. Public land or private? Come on now, private. You're the fucking man, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get no cooler than that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can legally hunt with a spear in North Carolina.
I don't know if you can either.
Yeah.
But
and I don't even think that's cool. Yeah. I really don't.
The guy Tim, the guy I keep talking about, he hunts with a recurve. Like
that's how you can get cooler.
Yeah. He hunts from a saddle. I got him into saddle hunting. He used to use the like lone wolf climber.
Yeah.
And then he had one of the like hawk saddles, like one of the cheap ones.
Yeah.
And he hated it, and I was like,
"That's you gotta get the right saddle, man."
Yeah. And everyone has their preference. Like, I wouldn't say one saddle fits all, but he got into it, and I mean he kills deer. He's killed 2 deer this year with a recurve. Out of a saddle.
That's the ultimate. Yeah.
Land.
Did you see that? Was it Trent Ellis? You know who Trent Ellis is? Mm-hmm. He's online. He makes funny videos. Redheaded dude. But he's got this video of the bow hunters. One's a crossbow hunter. One's compound. You got to watch. I posted it on the page probably last year, the year before. Saw it. But he like the crossbow hunter and the compound, but they're kind of arguing about what's cooler. The crossbow's gay. But then the fucking recurve guy comes in the room. And he's like daddy, and they all know it. Like they recognize, they're like, "Oh, he's so cool." He's like, "Tell your wife now, you got to watch it." What do you think about crossbows? Yeah,
the age-old debate.
I mean, age-old debate. I mean, you're here. I mean, I'm sure you posted about it, but
I just it's the same. Not as bad, but I feel it's the same way I feel about rifles and compared to bow is like a crossbow. All you got to do is point it and shoot. Yeah. You don't have to draw back. You don't have to do anything, and you can shoot a lot further than you can with a bow. Like that's just the facts of it.
Can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have had crossbows, and I have shot them out to like 60 yards, but then again, I've shot my bow at like 60 yards and hit target. Now
I'm not saying
I'm not knocking fucking little quarter size fucking groups, but I can hit the target from 50, 60 yards.
And I'm not saying it's easy to do that by any means,
but it's definitely easier.
It's within your wheelhouse.
Like, I don't think that they should have. I don't think crossbows should be allowed during bow season. I think they should be held off until rifle season. Like a crossbow and a rifle should be in the same category as far as when it comes into season. But not be, if it's archery only area, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be able to bring a crossbow in there. I mean, you shouldn't be able to tote that crossbow until rifle season opens, in my opinion.
There's a lot of states where you can't. I think the Midwest is that way, where it's like you have to be like disabled or like a youth hunter.
North Carolina was like that. It used to be in North Carolina and I didn't hunt until I was, in my 30s. But I remember crossbows being illegal to hunt with. And the reasoning that my grandfather told me they were illegal is because poachers. But I'm thinking, well, poachers could use a bow too.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, the added movement of having to draw back, like the limited range of, I mean, people shoot deer at 40, 50 yards with a compound bow. Like it's not unheard of. But personally, like I'm like 30 and in. Like I just.
Yeah, me too. No, if I have a clear shot, I typically don't, because like I said, where I like to go hunt, I normally only have, I may be able to think that I can see 40 yards, but there's limbs, and when I know for a fact that my platform is 20 feet off the ground based on the length of my pull rope, so I know, plus I'm 6 feet tall, and I can, every time I move that one stick, I'm moving it 6 feet. So I'm 14 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. That's like 18, 20 feet. When you're up there and you're looking down, like you ever kill a deer and you see it fall and you're like, oh, he's right there in the wide open. But you get down on the ground, you're like, where the fuck is he? Because the 6 foot, 7 foot trees they're so spaced out when you're 20 feet up, so there's a lot of things that can get in the way of one of those long shots. So I'm really looking for 30 yards, 35 yards.
Yep. And I've just seen, I mean, I got into like self-filming last year, and like Tim and I go out to Kentucky, and like we've gone out there the past 2 years to hunt public out there. And I shot at a buck out there last year. I was self-filming, and I mean, it's 20 yards and he ducked the arrow like clean as day. Like
really?
It would have hit. I mean, I slowed it down on video, and
you should have. I remember that.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, that's enough to where it's like,
if he had not had ducked that arrow, where would that arrow have hit him?
It would have hit him, and it would have been a double lung shot.
No, I'm saying, but would it be but double lung shot has got 4 or 5 inches.
It would have been high. I mean, it was definitely.
I think that by aiming low, it puts you,
for sure.
So if they try, because if they're not ducking, they're just loading up to run away because they heard that noise. Did you stop him?
Nope. He was feeding.
Wow. So, okay. Normally what I've noticed when I watch these videos, it's always a guy that and the deer fucking, and they, you got 4 or 5 seconds typically before you want to, so they're waiting and I boom. So that deer's already been alerted and he knows it came from up there. So he's like, what the fuck? And then he hears that snap, he'll start to run. But if you don't, like, I've never been so lucky. Like, I see these people that fucking deer out there eating, looking up, eating. Every time I fucking shoot at a goddamn deer, they're moving.
Yep.
Yeah,
where we go in Kentucky, it's like a huge tract of land, and it's just all rolling hills. Like, it's just the definition of hill country. So there's just like, you're hunting terrain out there. And it was early season. It was in October, and I found, like, if you watch any YouTube, like, you'll hear people talk about like finding a feed tree, like the hot oak tree. Like, there's thousands of oaks around. Like, they're eating acorns wherever, but there's always one tree where, for whatever reason, those acorns taste better and they want to be there. And I got lucky when I was scouting in.
Well, not all are they all the same oaks? Do you know how to tell the difference between oaks?
Because I got real big into that, like the differences in white oaks and red oaks and like all the different types. And I mean, there's merit to it. Like, if you get into that, like, deer do have preferences based on the time of year and
by the sweetness, and there's more tannins. Like Holloway knows, he commits stuff like that to. memory. Like he'll look at the leaf. I'll send him a picture of a leaf. It's like, oh, that's a blah 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 blah. They like the chestnut oak and this and that. And they only grow inside of swamps. And I'm like, I've tried it, so I've started reading it.
Yeah.
Got the chart, and I'm walking through the woods, and I'm like, I'm at fucking 3 months
Do you
later.
have the app on your phone that tells you?
Mm-mm.
So if you're interested,
Yeah,
in
but
that
even
kind
if
of
it
stuff,
told me what it was, like it's a chestnut oak. I can't remember what the fuck he said about the chestnut. I don't don't remember, man.
And that's like where, I don't know, that kind of stuff's cool to me because it's like
people that study rocks.
Yeah, yeah. it just brings like everything together where it's like now my hunt isn't like all about killing a deer, but like learning.
You're maximizing that part of the hunt that's not luck, where most people aren't.
Yeah, but
I talk to so many people that think that they're good at hunting, like because they've been doing it for a long time, and occasionally they get lucky and they kill a deer. But they're, I think part of, for me anyway, is I just accept the fact that I'm not, and I want to be. I try to pick up everything, so you can actually learn it. Because I think once you think that you already know and how you're doing it's the best way, you're not going to get any better. I think that's with anything.
Yeah.
For
sure. Like
especially
if you ain't open to learn, like if you think you just know it all, like
I mean, especially going to I took a lot in my former career. I took a lot of shooting courses, and every time I went to one, I don't know shit. I mean, I knew how to shoot. Obviously, I was in a job. We had to shoot.
Yep.
I was pretty good with the pistol, but I would go and, matter of fact, it was a guy in Carthage, North Carolina called Tom Bullins, Trigger Time Valley. He came up to me because I thought I was hot shit because I'm like top one in our little class that we had. And he said, "You're good, but I can make you better if you would shut your ego off." And I was like, okay, fuck it. And he did.
Yeah.
He changed my whole hand, but I was still shooting. You're familiar with pistols. I was still shooting like this. He got me to switch to hunting, same way.
Yeah. Anything, like he said. If you go in thinking you know it all and you have nothing to learn, like you're already just at a disadvantage with anything. Like humbleness.
And listen to people. One of the things that fucking asses me up the most is if you tell somebody something and then they do the exact opposite, and then they just try it, man.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for me to hunt an area like we were talking about before in the open areas. Like some of the biggest deer I've seen and some of the biggest deer that I've heard people say they've seen has been in those savannas where it's just all grass, looks like pine straw growing out of the ground, and pine trees that are spaced apart. You know how hard it is for me to hunt that? But I started paying more attention to those areas. You know what I mean? And I'm just making more contact as the years go on. I haven't. When did I switch to brown? It's down to about 3 years ago. Yeah. So it literally took me 9 years of just shooting everything. But it's just hard sometimes when you got to go here and I want to hunt this spot, and my brain's always said, if the wind's blowing into the draw, the deer are going to come out of the draw. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I want to go. But getting myself to kind of position on the other side of it and not care if a fucking doe comes out. Of course, if a hot doe comes out, you're looking for the buck.
Yep.
I relate a lot of this shit to Jonathan Holly because he's my business partner. So I talk to him a lot. But he was like, yeah, but you ain't hunting does. Who the fuck's hunting does? That's where it clicked in for me. But hell yeah. So, all right. Well, cool, man. Anything else you think that any of the newer guys out there need to hear, some shit that maybe you've learned? Or
man,
the page has obviously helped you out a lot.
Yeah. Just getting on the page. I mean, my first season, like I said, I mean, Bragg is a very unique place to hunt. Right. Majority of the training areas, and like the stuff right there on Bragg, some of the NTAs are, I think, a little bit different terrain. Like you can get in more hardwood type stuff, not necessarily, but there is a little bit different terrain out there. But learning it's very I mean, most of Bragg is very open pines and then a draw with thick stuff.
Yeah.
If you can just get on the downwind side of that, scout around. I mean, you don't have to be on the downwind side to scout if you're doing it early season or before the season starts, but you just walk those draws, and like you're saying, you find the sign, like set up on it. If it looks fresh, set up on it.
Yeah.
And
give it 3 sits.
if you're rifle hunting, back off 2/3 up the ridge and wait for something to come by and check those.
And don't shoot the first thing that walks. That's how you learn the fucking area. That's how you learn who's there.
Yep.
Here's another tactic that I started using, because last season I was super into the mobile shit. Like I was literally, I didn't have to walk as far as I did, but I was parking up on the main road and walking like a mile in, or I could have just, went around the drop zone or wherever the hell I was at. But I was just into it. One of the things that I found, and this is something the new guys could use if you don't mind walking, is fucking walk through the woods loud. Don't slip through there. Jump that motherfucker up.
Yeah.
If you jump him up, and this has worked when people have texted me, like, man, I was walking in, I jumped up a fucking doe, or I jumped up a buck, I'm like, okay, which way did they run? Okay. That's where they were coming from. It's the daytime. You're walking out there at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We know that the movement, and because I still rely and I believe that the moon phase and the pressure and all that affect deer movement. Just their scheduling. I don't care what anybody else says about that. The way they ran, it's like the same thing. How do you know you missed a deer? If you shoot at a fucking deer and he's coming from the left to the right, and you shoot and he runs back to the left, chances are you missed him. Because if you hit him, he's just going to fucking...
Yeah.
So he's going to go back to where he knows is safe, because they clock all that. So if you jump up a fucking deer and he runs that way, fucking see how far he ran. If he disappears, then kind of fucking walk that fucking area. If he's going to run into something thick, you're going to find the trail.
Yeah.
Okay. Set up on that motherfucker. If it's bow hunting, get about 10 yards to the left or right, depending on the wind. Or if you're rifle hunting, like you just said, but set up right there. The chances are he's going to come back.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, of course, nothing's guaranteed, but you might see the does, especially if it's during the rut. Why he's there for a reason. He's not. The deers don't just get up and walk and
they're like, I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go this way today, and I'm gonna end up in fucking Ohio. No, they have a range, and they have like biological grids that they follow. They're based on their smell and everything. So that's another thing for new guys. I tell them, just walk around until you jump something.
Mm-hmm. And that's like, on that subject, is like one of my favorite ways to hunt is like evening hunts, where I get in there early in the afternoon and I e-scout, like pick a spot on the map where like the terrain's in my favor, put the wind in my face, and I walk. And I scout my way in, essentially. If I don't jump anything and I set up on fresh sign, like, good. If you jump something, it's not the end of the world. Like,
they don't know what you are.
Exactly. If they aren't smelling you and they're just moving because they heard something, or even if they saw you, like, especially on Bragg, like you know how many
grow up.
walk through there?
Now, if they smell you, is different. That's when people are like, oh, I jumped him up. I'm like, okay, did he blow?
Yeah.
Because if he blows, you scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But if he just runs, he's just, danger, let me get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, like I talked about earlier, I jumped a little forkhorn buck the other night and walked out. Like, most people are like, oh, I bumped something, like my hunt's over, like whatever.
Yeah.
I set up and saw deer that same evening. Like it.
No, that's the same thing early season, last season with that big fucking buck. What happened was I was walking in and I come around the fucking corner and I see these two deer get up and run. And they stopped and I'm watching them and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit still. And then they fucking ended up running back. So I went to where they stopped. That first place they bounded to was another little group of trees. And I set up right there.
Yep.
And they fucking came back.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's
deer are curious. They're like any animal. They're curious. If they aren't like 100% sensing danger, like there's a good chance they're going to come back and do what they were planning on doing anyway.
Yeah, because he knew where he was going to go. Kind of, he was in that direction. So he got up and fed in the morning. If we're not talking about rut, he fed. He's going now. He's going to bed down and he's going to get up and he's going to keep going because that's the way the wind's going to take him. You spooked his ass, so you sent him back to where he knows it's safe. That's where that's what they do. They don't just run when they're scared. They don't just run in circles until they find a safe spot. They go back. So now that he senses, okay, I fucking bedded down. I'm over it. He's just going to come back. He's going to continue that mission. And hopefully he does that during shooting light.
Yep.
Maybe he didn't get too far. It's
especially
worked for
if
me.
you're in some thick shit. Like deer, they don't run. When you spook them, it's not like they just run for miles. Like they'll run pound off 80, 100 yards.
And stop.
Yeah. And then they'll look and make sure like what they're looking at was something they should be running from, and then they'll go about their business. Yeah. Like they'll probably walk a few 100 yards and bed down.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that the other night, or on that. I don't know how this deer saw me or what. I think he must have smelled me when he was coming in. It was a small buck, and kind of knew something was there because I heard him behind me stomping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't want to turn around because I didn't know where he was at. So I'm like doing the whole like real slow. I can't see nothing. I hear him back there. And then finally out of the corner of my eye, he's right below me. He's literally sniffing a cigarette butt because it was getting ready to get dark. And I usually put my cigarettes because, yes, I started smoking again. I don't know why. It's temporary. But I put them inside like a plastic tube so you don't smell like stinky ass cigarettes because I hate the smell of it, even though I smoke. But I think we had about 10 minutes more left of light. So I threw it over my thing. I'll pick it up later. Maybe I was going to pick it up. Of course I was going to pick it up because that would be littering. But anyway, I looked down and he's fucking sniffing the fucking cigarette butt.
Yeah.
So maybe that had him up. But I went like this and he took off. He maybe, I don't know, 10 yards and stopped. I could have shot him, but I wouldn't use a little buck. But so yeah, to that point, if you've probably seen it and a lot of guys probably seen it, didn't even realize it because they think, fuck, I jumped him. Like, what did you think? You were going to like sneak around that deer sleeping and set up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there, but, so did I cut you off or anything?
I mean, other than that, and then just spending time in the woods and walking around, like putting boots on the ground and covering ground and learning like, okay, that's a scrape that was made earlier this month versus a scrape that was just made yesterday. And it's like,
I would say too, if you find on that, I know a lot of guys, they'll, oh, look at all these scrapes I found, bro, those turkeys, those turkey scratches, or look at this rub, you know. I don't think you're going to, I would post a picture. Like if you, find somebody on Facebook on the page that's knowledgeable, or post a picture. If you're not sure it's a fucking scrape, hey, is this a scrape? There are a ton of people that want to show how smart and how much they know about deer hunting.
Yeah.
They're going to say, no, that's not, they're not going to, I know in a lot of pages, they might be like, you dickhead motherfucker, you shouldn't even be hunting. Yeah. We kick people like that off. So we want this to be a resource.
Like I don't know if you follow it. There's like the mobile hunter page, and some of the people on there are ruthless. Yeah. Like someone will ask a question like that, like, hey, like I'm new to hunting, like I'm scouting around, is this a scrape? And they're like, if you don't know that's a scrape, you shouldn't be hunting.
Yeah.
And it's like,
idiots.
How are you gonna learn? Like, and that's I mean, this page and like the Fort Bragg like hunting club, like it's awesome. I mean, like I've met a ton of people through it. Like just like I'm hunting, like I run into somebody and I'm like, oh yeah, like blah blah blah. Like I've seen
I seen you posted that deer,
yeah. And so it's a good tool, and like don't be afraid to ask questions.
Ask the questions because we don't tolerate that. Now like I said at one point, if you see, let's say you're new to the page and you see two guys are just kind of like talking trash,
they probably know
each other, and it's probably funny or exaggerated. But if you ever see anybody talking bad about somebody, like I kicked a guy off, I kick a lot of people off, but just certain things irk me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I have to question, am I kicking him off because he's irking me? Am I being selfish with this, or is he really being like, but you know, it's like questioning somebody's ethics for no reason on a person that I know is a very ethical type person. Like now you're just being a douchebag. You got to go. But like that guy this past weekend, that's why I had to put, no matter who you're talking to, I know I've got the God button. I have been accused of, like trying to keep a circle of friends and keeping people out. What? I have 5,000 friends, bro. I got 5,000 friends. Okay. Yeah, no, it don't work that way, but ask the questions, you know, and before you take something personal. Like one guy got mad at me one year. Fuck, I wish I could remember it because it was so good. But he said, I can't see the fucking advantage I just can't see the advantage of saddle hunting over toting my climber while bow hunting. And I said, well, if you can't see it, you need glasses. That's funny, right? And the guy laughed, but some other guy got offended by that or something. It was attacking me, and I'm like, what are you fucking? He's like, well, you told that guy he needed glasses.
Well, and when I see that stuff too, it's like, one, if someone feels that way about a climber, like, good for them. And I'm probably not going to change their opinion because they've been doing it for so long.
It's just shit talking.
And if you aren't open to the idea of saddle hunting, like, by all means, continue hunting a climber, but don't like bash people for saddle hunting. And that's what it turns into, is they're like, oh, well, I'm like hunting in a climber because that's how you should hunt. And it's like, well, now you're just like, you can't get mad at someone's opinion with your
it's like camouflage.
Opinion.
Now you can't, we've had this discussion, you cannot dispute that Sitka is the top dog hunting gear when it comes to quality. I don't care much about.
Does it hide me from a deer better than Realtree camo at Walmart?
Probably not.
Could I kill him in a red and black flannel? Probably.
No.
But am I gonna?
No, you're not going to be warm in a red and black.
Am I going to be warm? That's
you're going to be warm in a fucking Sitka Fanatic jacket. I promise you.
I wear 2 layers in my Sitka Fanatic.
Yeah,
I'm warm.
Oh man, it's so good. But the quality of it, the zippers, the buttons, the stitching, everything is just better. And I have used First Light. I have used the Walmart stuff. I've used I haven't used like Osseo or nothing like that, but guys that I know that do use it will just say no, Sitka's better.
Yeah.
They just like to try different things. I tried First Light because I like Ranella zippers on all of my fucking pants. Of course, although they updated it, well, unfortunately I got the bad batch, so I'm back with Sitka.
Yeah.
But that's another debate, you know what I mean? Just always.
Do you have to do that? No. No. Are people out there killing stuff?
No, if you want to be fucking cold and you want people laughing at you, then that's fine.
Yeah. But when I'm hunting public land, and like Bragg's not a great example because you don't necessarily have to walk that far, but when I'm walking in a mile in Kentucky through rolling hills, like, I want a thin base layer and then an outer coat I can throw on when I get in my stand and stay warm.
Yeah.
I don't want to bundle up in Realtree that's been passed down to me for 3 years.
Yeah, like 8 layers, and by the time you get an eighth of a mile, you're fucking soaking in sweat.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that can't be argued. The camo pattern, of course, unless you can get yourself inside of a deer's eyeball and see what they see, you're not gonna. That's just a never-ending debate. But just people that get mad about it. I don't get mad with the fucking. It's always like the gay butt plug. Once a year, somebody posts the fucking butt plug that's Sitka camoed. Like Sitka camo. It's a butt warmer or something. I don't get mad at that shit.
Or the diaper stuff. Like,
Greg Bishop. Yeah.
He loves shit.
Half the time, I will admit this on camera. Half the time when I make those saddle climber put downs, I'm talking to Greg Bishop and Cliff Jones.
Exactly.
I'm talking to Cliff Jones because I know Cliff Jones is probably dead set. I'm not doing a saddle. And it might get him a little bit like, fuck that motherfucker. But Greg Bishop, on the other hand, I think he's laughing at it.
Yeah,
like he appreciates.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, you hadn't been on the page for a while and you don't know that.
You don't know that, and you see,
it's like, oh, they're like arguing back and forth, like it's okay if I do that. But like, you have to understand.
And then you step in and say, that's why your mom's a fucking, whatever. You're like, whoa, bro, we don't even know you.
Yeah, like, why'd you take it to that level?
Like I was arguing with somebody one time, and some dude was like, just admit you like cock. I'm like, bro, I don't even fucking know you. It has nothing gone. Like, this is a local page. This is not like, I troll. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if people, sometimes I'm surprised because I'll troll on a page and then one of my friends that's a friend of mine will like it. And I don't know if they can see it because I did that or if they're on the same thread and saw it. Yeah. But sometimes I'm like, damn, I didn't know everybody could see that. Or sometimes I'll troll and I'll fucking go back to it and I'll realize, oh shit, that was on Garrett's page. I thought it was just some random internet page, and I'll go back and delete it or apologize. Because like, your mama's on there, daddy's on there, your grandma's on there, and I'm over there, whatever the hell the thing is. Yeah, so just keep that in mind too if you're new and you're still watching. How many people we got watching here? Yeah, I can't even tell. Oh 18. Shit, we're moving on up.
Questions.
We got some questions? All right, take a question.
Brennan, hey guys, your thoughts on the late season start on the late season start and the pressure right now, or lack of pressure? Also, because we've had cold weather for a while now, what's your opinion on the rut stage this year? Do you think it's later or earlier?
I don't think the cold has anything to do with the rut. The rut's based on the moon,
Yeah, I think
the days. Yeah.
I think cold will get does up and moving a lot more than when it's 76 degrees like it was this last weekend. But
Yeah.
I mean, look at the deer that were killed this weekend. Like
Yeah.
that little kid that killed that.
Yeah, that 17-21
Yeah.
pointer or whatever it is.
Like,
it was not cold this weekend.
No, it was.
Yeah.
I was in my stand Sunday morning, and it was 73 degrees when I calmed down. And I think he killed that deer Sunday, either Sunday.
It was Sunday because I wasn't hunting Sunday.
Because I was hunting Sunday morning,
Yeah.
I was like, "Ain't a deer moving right now?"
Yeah.
And then I looked at the page and I saw that, and I was like,
right place, right time.
What do I know?
But was he hunting a youth area?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because
Probably.
I want to say things, but he's a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know his daddy well enough, but I could, if you killed that deer where he killed it, I got some things like not bad, just like breaking balls. As far as the rut, this is the way I understand the rut. Deer have a gland in their eyeball or something, and it basically somehow, with the photoreceptors, and what happens is the days, because of the winter, the solstice and the equinox, with the sun and all that shit, the days, I think it's once the days get shorter, the shortest day of the year, and then it starts to go back up to go to spring, right?
Yep.
Isn't that what happens? Something like that. That triggers the rut. So that can be on the 15th this year. It was on the 14th last year. Next year it might be on the 2nd or the 3rd, just depending on the year cycle. So it has nothing to do with the cold weather, and everything to do, and no cold weather doesn't, people are like, oh, it's going to kick off the rut. No, it don't. It's all based on the moon phase, and the moon phase is what dictates the light. Exactly.
The day, yeah. And
I know I just butchered that. If there's somebody out there that can explain it, maybe we'll have you on and you can explain it better.
It's literally the humans used to be that way.
Yeah.
It's like there's a thing, it's called circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm, exactly. And
it's to do with photoreceptivity and the amount of light that's out. Like, that's why everybody's fucking depressed during the winter.
Hey, look, speaking on circadian rhythm, during daylight savings time, in the spring and in the fall, heart attacks go up significantly, like 35-40%, because that circadian rhythm is that important.
Yep.
We don't realize it because in our culture, we're 9 to 5ers or 9 to 9ers, like 10 hours a day. It don't matter what the weather is. We're slaves. We got to get that money. So we can pay. We got to have everything. We got to work. But I have lived in sync with my circadian rhythm, and I was in total fucking I just felt great.
Yeah.
And here recently,
if you've ever lived in a place where it, like in the high north or up like that way, where it's dark
all the time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell, when I lived in Eufaula in the wintertime, my rhythm got fucked up because it's right there on the Central Eastern timeline.
Yep.
And like a mile to the fucking east, it's still 5 o'clock in the fucking evening. So it's getting dark, but here it's only 4:30 and it's getting dark.
Yep.
So you're talking about losing light at 4:30 in the afternoon. And then it had a winter there, 2014, 15, where it rained. It was rainy and cold and dark all the time. And I couldn't wait to get my ass back to fucking Africa. I fucking hated that place. But what else we got for questions?
I think that's about it, unless I missed one earlier.
That's it.
Yeah, no one's really saying anything. Maybe it's because we just spent.
I thought you were gonna bring more people on, man.
There was like 20-something in at one.
Yeah,
point.
well, it's getting late too.
Yeah,
people got to work tomorrow. But all right, anyway, this is recorded, so people can go back and watch. But I just want to let everybody know what we did this year with the money we raised. You see that we got these badass hoodies on. Yeah. Very high quality too. These are some of the best. I think the first, if you got the green one or the black camouflage one, the same material. Then the ones in between were kind of cheaper. We actually bought 3 laptop computers and donated them to the biologists, volunteers at the Wildlife Center. Now, that should have been an easy feat, but government, we got to go through all this. So I think we're out of the woods. Like, we filled out all the paperwork and all that. So I wanted to make a post, but I lost the picture that we took and it kind of got held up. But that's what your money went to this year. We're getting a cabinet for the you know, if you go in there right now, it's hard to keep it clean because everything's piled up on that sink. So we want to get like a metal shit, something to put maybe where it's not going to hinder deer hanging.
Yeah.
Maybe on the outside or whatever. And Randy got the big buck trophy. It's just a trophy. You know, Greg Bishop donated the fucking big belt last year, and that was cool. And Maverick got it, and he's probably going to have the only one. Now it's just going to be a trophy.
Yeah.
You know. I think that's it for announcements, man. So Garrett, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah,
It's always good seeing you. I feel like, you know, I haven't seen you in a long time, but I keep up with you on Facebook, so it's kind of like I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
With you. Did you pass sniper school?
I did.
So you're a qualified sniper now.
Yeah, now I can't miss the rifle. I'm never gonna hear the end of it. So.
Good shit. All right, man. All right, everybody. Till next week or next time. Now I got to remember how to turn this shit off. Don't say nothing racist. Like you were saying earlier. I'm just joking. God, how do I do this? Oh, I got to do it from here. I think.
I think it ended.
Did it? No, it's not, because I'm sitting there looking at my feet on the fucking internet. Oh, wait. Boom. Okay, are you